It's summertime, the heat is here, so today I'm going to do a project. I'm going to build myself a homemade swamp cooler. So the first time I did this, I went with a cheaper cooler, just to see, one, could I do it, which I could, and how did it work. And it worked well for the size of the cooler, for the size of the building. Now my building is a 10 by 24 building. So the ice in the jugs or the regular blocks of ice I put in, it didn't really last long. It did well, but it just didn't last long. And when you have days where you have 90 degrees all day, I wanted to go upgrade to something bigger, larger capacity. So if you have stuff laying around the house, it can be done cheap. The high velocity fan, that was a good purchase. It definitely circulates more of that cold air, and to push it up and out of the cooler, definitely worth the investment. So as you can tell, there's a size difference in the cooler. Okay. Quite a big difference. Okay. It's also a little bit taller, longer. Deconstructed it because I'm going to need the parts out of here to go here. 3-inch PVC, a 90 degree 3-inch. Just cut in different lengths. I had scrap laying around the house, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on one end. So I will put them on one end side by side. Okay. So on this side I will have my vents leading out, and I have this piece right here. Basically it's 6 inches to 8 inches, 6 by 8, and it's actually stamped inside 6 by 8. Okay, so the 8-inch part will go inside. That's where I'm going to cut my hole to, and then the 6-inch flexible ductwork will attach to the top. Well, that was unexpected, but it's a good thing. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. My blade won't cut the other piece, but I've punctured where the insulation is. So I'm going to have to cut this down so my blade will poke through the other side, because as you can tell, nothing happened. It's not always going to be perfect, but it's what you do when you don't succeed that determines the outcome of things. Now, let's try this again. It's pretty thick insulation, but what I was wanting to do was poke a hole so now I can see it from the other side. Take my hole saw and go the opposite way with it. Here it is. Awesome. Let's dry fit it. Look at that. Nice, tight. Now I'll still put duct tape around it to help seal it and to help hold this pipe from shifting up and down when I open and close the lid. Some of the things have been on my mind. You know, we started this channel to let people see what we do, how we do things, and to encourage you guys that anybody can do this. At our age, we're doing this. And if you don't have the skills, it's okay. You learn them as you go. You're in the same boat. There's a lot of people out there that don't have skills. Video wise, we put out what we can. You know, it takes a lot. Creating content sometimes is a challenge, but also editing content takes quite a while. So all the YouTubers out there, or anybody out there that has a channel that puts content out daily and weekly, my hat's off to you, because it does take a lot to edit the content down into like 15-20 minutes worth of viewable content. Because right now, if you see this, you see me struggling, you'd be like, oh, time to click the channel, move away. Hopefully you won't, but it does take many hours to edit video. Because we've had to learn on our own, and my wife does it much better than I do. And she always says, be nice to her or she'll make me look like I'm nice to her anyway. But it's her little joke. Go ahead and trace this out. My wife does a lot more of the building projects, sort of the brains in behind some of it. She grew up that if you wanted it, you saved up for it, or you made it yourself, you built it. And I didn't grow up that way. You know, my family didn't do that. My family was always worked for somebody else, never worked for themselves. Her parents always owned their own business. So, yeah, but to the homesteaders out there that are doing this type of stuff, you're helping your children and future generations not be afraid to try something. Pretty good fit. Believe it or not, I think I'm going to leave it like that. So it's a little rough, but hey, you know, I've only done this twice. I'm not a builder, so I'm not really worried about this. My thing is just to let the air come down in here. But there's that lip we were talking about, sitting it down on there. There's the hole, pretty good seal, it's pretty tight. I'll put some duct tape around here just to seal it. I think we'll be golden. Of course, clean it up. But yeah, so we'll go on to the next step. I mean, dog taking a popsicle break. So now I've just got to do the cleanup part, clean it up, tape it up, put all the pieces together. And I'm a little bit behind on my ice blocks for freezing. Just how it goes for me. So any water that comes out of here, I'll put it on my garden, on the plants. So they can have a little extra drink in the evening and I'm not wasting anything. I've got my blower hooked up to my vent here. The filter's on my intakes, so that way I can blow these out with an air compressor because it's going to get dusty. I also put it up on a cinder block to keep it off the floor. High. Now, of course, this only reads surface temperature, so we just put it on there. So it's going to be warm because it's been warm in here. I just turned this on. Okay, but to give you a point, Temperature of the ice is like 28 degrees. Okay, so it's cold. So we'll let this run for a while. You all can't feel it, but it feels really nice and cool. Like I said, you can tell that it's blowing. Okay. So now we're going to let it set for a while. Yesterday was 26 minutes, and that 50 pounds of ice pretty much turned to water. But it was also loose and small. These are solid blocks. Also, to let you know, the little blocks I put on my rabbits, and that block will last in the heat in their hutches for several hours. So I'm curious to see. I know a cooler is going to keep it cold just by the ice in there, but of course I'm pushing this cold air out. So we'll see. We'll put a timer on and we'll check back in the same amount of time. I'm pretty confident we'll still have ice blocks in here, where yesterday we had water after about 26 minutes. And we'll see it. And this thing's blowing nice and cool. And we definitely have ice. We still have some solid. The blocks are definitely melting pretty quick. Got several inches of water in there. I probably could stack, like I said, some more blocks in there. But considering how hot it is, right now, we're at 67% indoor humidity, so it has dropped 84% temperature. Raised a little bit. But that's right here. Over there, on that fan, it's 90 degrees on this side of the building. And you can definitely tell the heat difference when you walk past the fan. So the hot air is definitely going up and out. But right here, it's nice and cool. So it's pretty easy to build. The cost is based upon what you want to invest in it or what you have laying around the house. I like it. It helps us get through the summer months. Like I said, we just upgraded to a bigger one, more insulated cooler. It was about $58 for the cooler. Everything else I had, but I think the high velocity fan was maybe $36, $45, somewhere around in there. We'll leave affiliate Amazon links to let you know what it looks like, the specs, and then where you can decide to buy it. It's up to you. Cheapest place, always. We're all on a budget, right? So I hope this helps. Hope to encourage you to build something like this. And we'll talk to you next time.